everyone. Welcome back to Baking at 2. Today we're making gin and tonic cupcakes. So a bit of a different recipe today. Not one that I've made before, but it looks very easy, so I'm sure it'll be very good, very nice. This is being pre-recorded on Wednesday because this time tomorrow, Thursday, when you'll be watching this, is when I think I will be on the bike for our 12-hour cycle for Christian Aid. If you'd like to donate, that'd be lovely. It's on the newsletter, along with also if you'd like to order a cake that we've made or some cupcakes or something like that. Any of the recipes that we've made during these baking sessions, then I think let Father Michael know via email, and we will get them to you as soon as we can after sort of lockdown measures that ease so much, so that we can deliver them. On to the baking. It's a really easy recipe. The ingredients are as follows. We have 200 grams of unsalted butter, 200 grams of caster sugar, 4 eggs that have been beaten, and then 200 grams of self-raising flour, and in that I have finely grated the zest of 1 lime. And then finally we have 75 millilitres of gin. We're using Bombay Sapphire, but obviously use whatever gin you have available. I'm sure if you have a less good gin or something like that, then putting it into baking would be an ideal use for it. So start off with, we have preheated the oven to 160 fan, and I'm just going to wash my hands. So, the first step for this recipe is we're going to be creaming the butter and the sugar together. So, you have the sugar. I've softened the butter slightly to try and make it a bit easier, a bit quicker for it to get going. So we're using our electric beater again. Obviously you can do this by hand, but take slightly longer. This is unsalted butter, not salted butter. Nearly there now. There we go. That is sort of the sort of fluffy texture that you're looking for. Pop those out. Oh no, put them back in. Sorry. And then we are going to add in the eggs gradually. We're going to get it going slowly and then add them in gradually. Making sure that you're beating them in nicely. Put the rest in. Just scrape down the edges. One final mix there, one final beat. There we go. So we're going to add in we're going to fold in flour and the lime. So I don't need the beater anymore for this stage. Get as much as you can off the beaters. And then we're going to fold in the flour and the lime. So the lime is sort of where the cupcakes themselves will get their flavour and the gin. And we're going to fold this in nicely. You'll be surprised how much flavour or sort of the zest of one lime will give you. So similar with the lemon drizzle cake that I made a few weeks ago. Just that had, I think, the zest of 1.5 lemons, and that really gives a really lemony flavour. So we're just combining this together, and then the final step, once I've just combined this all in, will be to add the gin. There we go. So that's all combined, and now we're going to pop in the gin. In that goes. Dad's favourite bit. And combine that together. That'll probably make the dough quite wet. That's alright. I think in the baking part of the process, much of the alcohol will be cooked away, but in the buttercream and in the syrup, there is more gin, and that isn't being cooked. So that it will be these cupcakes will be slightly alcoholic, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. So there we go, that's our cupcake batter, and it says it makes 12 cupcakes, so here are the cases that I've got, and we will pour it in as carefully as possible. If this goes wrong, then I have to get a spoon, but that's alright. Like that. There we go. I think these bake for about half an hour. I will double check that, but I'm fairly certain it's about half an hour, which gives you enough time to make the syrup, which I will do in, which I will show just before I get them out of the oven. And then as soon as they come out of the oven, you'll put in the syrup straight onto them, and it sort of makes like we did with the drizzle cake a few weeks ago. You get a skewer and you make some holes in it, and the syrup forms like a sort of drizzle that you put in to go into to run into the cake itself, and then you get buttercream on top of that. So, as usual, very calorie controlled. So, last case. A little bit more. I'll just top up some of the other cases. I might be able to get another tray out of that. Right, what I think we will do is we'll probably stop it there, and then we will come back when I take them out of the oven and make the syrup, which for you on the live stream will be immediately, but for us will be in about half an hour. So see you in a second. Welcome back to what will be straight away on the live stream. The cupcakes have been in the oven for about 25 minutes or so. They've just got a couple more minutes left. They're starting to brown. They've risen a decent amount. So now I'm going to make the glaze, or the syrup as they call it, which is just tonic, gin and sugar, and then depending on whether they're ready or not, that needs to be brushed onto the cupcakes as soon as they come out of the oven, so they'll be brushed straight on. If they're done when the peeper goes, then I'll do that straight away. If not, I'll make a start on the buttercream, and then whatever happens, I'll show you how to make the buttercream as well. For the syrup, all we've got to do is mix 50 millilitres of tonic with 50 grams of caster sugar, which I'm popping in now. There we go, 50 grams of caster sugar, and then 2 tablespoons of the gin. I imagine also you can sort of put in as much or as little as you like. So that is the beeper. Just mix that in. Mix that all together. And I will check whether they're done. They're looking very good. So they've browned over nicely. Let's check. Yep, they're done. So what we want to do now is get them out. Over here. I'll just double check before I completely turn the oven off. But what you want to do is you want to poke them with the skewer to make a lot of holes for the syrup to run down. So, yep, they all look good. So, I'm going to poke them with holes and this will be where the syrup runs into the cake and creates sort of a drizzle effect. Do that all over, and then I'm going to get out our pastry brush because we've got a nice well-equipped kitchen, and drizzle and brush them with the syrup that we've just made. And if you don't have a brush, then that's fine. You could just drizzle it over with a spoon or pour it over from a jug. It isn't the end of the world. Right, and then after that I will show you how to make the buttercream, which again is really easy. Make sure that's all. Make sure the gin syrup is nicely combined. And of course another lovely calorie controlled baking tutorial. So I'm just going to literally get that and brush it over. And the syrup will then run down into the cakes and make quite nice, will be nice and moist in the middle, and give that gin and tonic flavour running throughout, as if there wasn't enough gin in the cake itself. Yeah, as I said, if you don't have a brush, then just sort of the back of a spoon or just pouring it out of the jug will be absolutely fine. So it's important to do this while they're still warm, so that the syrup does run down into all of the cakes nicely and does soak in completely. So nearly there. And then I'll show you how to make the buttercream. Again, really, really easy. Just sort of a standard buttercream, but with added gin. Again, because there isn't enough gin in this recipe already. So I'll just go over some of these again to use up all of the syrup. Not very much left. And this will help make them quite moist as well. That'll do. Right, so onto the buttercream. I will just move these over, pop them over there. Right, so the buttercream again, really, really easy. What we've got is 200 grams of unsalted butter, and then 450 grams of icing sugar and the zest of 1 lime, and then more gin. This time 2 to 3 tablespoons It says to taste. I'm sure with Dad in the house we'll be doing 3 tablespoons as opposed to the 2. All we're going to do is just literally beat the butter until it's sort of nice and fluffy, and then beat in the icing sugar and the lime zest, sorry, and then add the gin. Probably fine. Right, we will pop in the icing sugar. Pop that in. There we go. So, sorry about that. So we're back with the buttercream. I'm just doing it a bit by hand now. We've added the gin. Just to make it a little bit easier and stop me throwing icing sugar all over the kitchen, which I'm still doing. But I will, once sort of I've combined it with by hand, I will go back to the beater to make it nice and fluffy. Okay, get in there. And then we'll just, you can make this slightly in advance, which is what I'm doing, before they're ready for them to be iced with the buttercream, because you can just sort of put this much in the fridge for a bit. I will go back to using the beaters. Redecorating our kitchen and myself with the icing sugar. There we go, that's getting towards the texture that we want. Nice and fluffy, like this. That is pretty good. So there we go. That is the buttercream, and I think we'll probably leave it there. And then once the cupcakes have cooled, I will put buttercream on them, and then I'm sure Dad will take a picture and pop up on the Facebook page. So thank you very much for joining us, and see you tonight, Thursday night, for the film club. Is that correct? Which is Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society, is that right? Something like that. which is an iPlayer, so you can watch that. And then we'll be back for more baking next Tuesday. Watch out for that. Thank you very much for joining us.